Y'all, if you've been following Fantasia since her American Idol days, you know her romantic journey has been messier than a toddler eating spaghetti. Trust me, it's juicier than a Georgia peach. So let's rewind a bit. Fantasia's love life was basically a hot mess express for a minute there. We're talking foreclosure, million-dollar tax bills, and some seriously questionable relationship choices. Remember that whole situation with the married T-Mobile store manager? Chili, that was a whole situation, but our girl Fantasia knew she needed to level up. She went on this whole spiritual journey. We're talking no booze, no boys, just straight-up sermons and the word of God for 7 whole months. She even bought herself a ring and married herself. Talk about self-love, am I right? Now enter Kendall Taylor. This man's backstory is like something out of a movie, y'all. Growing up without a dad, he fell into the street life, dealing substances, getting kicked out of schools, becoming a father at 15, and even getting shot at 17. But after his last stint in jail, Kendall did a complete 180. He went from retail to building a multi-million-dollar transportation and logistics empire. Talk about a glow-up. So, how did these two lovebirds meet? Picture this. It's 2014, and Fantasia's out at a rooftop bar in Charlotte, North Carolina. Some tipsy dude starts buying drinks for her and her crew, inviting them to roll with him to another spot. And who's in that friend group? You guessed it. Kendall Taylor. Now, at first, Kendall's not even buying that Fantasia's there. But when they hit up the next spot and fans start screaming her name, he's like, oh snap, we really got a celebrity in the house. Fantasia and her squad are having second thoughts about going in, but Kendall, being all chivalrous, tells them he'll make sure they have a blast if they come inside. Here's where it gets interesting, besties. Fantasia makes the first move. She sends one of Kendall's friends to let him know she wants to chat. Now, I know we usually say the woman shouldn't always be the hunter, but sometimes taking that first step can lead to something real. They talk all night and swap numbers. But hold up, because this is where things start to get a little questionable. A few days later, Fantasia invites Kendall to hit up a water park with her, her kids, and her crew. Girl, slow your roll. You're introducing him to your kids already? And you're still doing all the chasing? Let me drop some knowledge on y'all real quick. Ladies, let these men be men. They can't show you what they're working with if you're doing all the heavy lifting. You might think you're being all feminine energy and sprinkle, but trust me, down the line, he'll start resenting you for not letting him be the man in the relationship. Anyway, back to our lovebirds. So they meet up at the water park, and Kendall gets real with Fantasia about his past and his criminal history. He even tells her that her online pics don't do her justice. Smooth talker alert, but here's the kicker. Kendall tells her he's focused on running his company and not really in a place for a serious relationship. Ladies, when a man says something like that, you better believe him, but does Fantasia take the hint? Nope. A few days later, she's inviting him to her birthday party in DC. Kendall admits in their book that he wasn't even keen on making that 6-hour drive. His friend had to talk him into it. The next day, Fantasia's off to Cancun with her crew, and she's FaceTiming Kendall the whole trip. She even tried to get him to fly out and join her, but he couldn't leave the country because of his probation. Girl, you just met him. It's giving desperate vibes, and I'm not here for it. Now here's where things get real wild. After just 3 weeks of knowing each other, they rushed to a courthouse and got hitched. 3 weeks, y'all. I thought he was too busy with his business and not into relationships. How do you go from I'm too busy to I do in less than a month? It's giving opportunist vibes, if you ask me. But wait, there's more. Kendall goes and gets Fantasia's name tattooed on his chest. Y'all know tattoos like that are usually bad luck for relationships, right? When those pics hit the internet, it was the first time anyone even knew Fantasia was seeing someone. Of course, social media detectives got to work, and someone immediately sent Kendall's entire criminal record to blogger Love B. Scott. Turns out, Kendall's rap sheet was something else. Altercations with women, drug and weapon possession, and even failure to pay child support. He'd been convicted of firearm possession by a felon back in 2003. Love B. Scott did note that Kendall seemed to have cleaned up his act a couple years before meeting Fantasia, but still, that's a lot of baggage. Behind the scenes, things weren't as rosy as they seemed. Fantasia and Kendall, both with strong alpha personalities, were clashing over business ventures and money. Just 6 months after their whirlwind marriage, Fantasia dropped the bomb that she was leaving her record label, her grandmother had passed, and she and Kendall had split. But hold on to your wigs, because 2 months later they were back together, all smiles. Meanwhile, rumors were swirling that their breakup was due to cheating. Fantasia took to Instagram to shut down the gossip, writing, "No one lied, no one cheated, no one broke a single vow. What we learned was to keep those who aren't for us out of our marriage." So what do they do after all this drama? They decide to throw another wedding bash in July 2015, this time with all their family and friends. And just to keep the love alive, or maybe for a fresh start, They renewed their vows on Christmas Day 2016. Talk about commitment issues. Now, here's where things get really interesting. By September 2019, Fantasia's out here acting like she's the queen of relationship advice. During an appearance on The Breakfast Club, she said, "Most women are trying to be the leader. That's why you can't find a man. You can't be the king in the house. Fall back and be the queen and let your man lead the way." Oh, now it's too late, sis. You didn't give that man a chance to step up and be a leader back when y'all were talking. You didn't let him chase you, didn't let him be the one to hit you up first, didn't let him plan no dates or handle dinner. You didn't give that man the space to show he could actually lead, and now you want to hand over control in a marriage to someone who ain't never proven he's got what it takes? Girl, bye. People were dragging her advice left and right, calling it outdated and flat out wrong. So Fantasia and Kendall jumped on Instagram to do some damage control. Kendall started talking about how submission is like this beautiful little song and dance between two lovers. He said Fantasia submitting doesn't mean he's making all the decisions for the house. They talk it out, then he decides what's best after considering her opinion. Oh, okay, so Fantasia's bringing home the coins, but he's the one calling the shots? Boy, bye. You gotta earn that role, period. Even though they finally got on the same page, everything was still falling apart. Fantasia's money situation was in the gutter because folks were taking advantage of her, and Kendall had to step away from that logistics company he helped build after beefing with his co-founders. So what do? They decide to come together and start their own label, Rock Soul Entertainment. Girl, Fantasia, please. How many times do I have to tell y'all not to mix business with pleasure? This man co-founded a logistics company. Why couldn't he just start another one in his lane? What does he know about music? Nothing. Now y'all tell me who's really eating off this marriage. Go ahead, I'll wait. Oh, and don't forget they also started that nonprofit, Salute First, where Kendall's helping out convicted felons and at-risk youth get their lives back. Noble cause, but when they were hustling to get all this off the ground, they were broke. Fantasia said date nights were tuna and bologna sandwiches, and they were posted at the airport watching planes take off. She thought it was romantic. Girl, lower your expectations. After struggling with fertility for years, Fantasia announced in 2020 that she and Kendall were expecting their first baby together, so in celebration, what does she do? Sis gave this man a whole Christian Dior diaper bag. A diaper bag, though? Ain't he supposed to be giving her a push gift? Chilly, I cannot. Their baby girl, Keziah, was born in May 2021, making them a family of 6. Fast forward, they dropped that relationship advice book in 2022, and by 2023, Kendall's out here receiving an honorary doctorate from Texas Seminary Christian University. Meanwhile, Fantasia hasn't dropped an album since 2019, but she's still out here touring the world and snatching roles like in the 2023 film The Color Purple. Let's not forget, sis once opened up about being illiterate, and now she's giving credit to Kendall for pushing her into this new love for reading. She told CNN, "I used to hate to read, hated it, and now I can't stop reading." Should have run that background check on yourself in the mirror, sis. Fantasia's out here telling Essence magazine that her whole life did a 180 when Kendall slid into her world. She said he's giving her the type of leadership their home needs and showing her all the love she's been waiting for. Girl, okay, with Kendall right there by her side, she's out here selling this fairy tale. But let's be real, you sure that leadership came with a manual? She told Essence, "I'm not the same Fantasia, and I love the queen that I'm becoming." The real issue with Fantasia and a lot of y'all is that you don't realize you've been a queen from day one. You've always been a queen. A man stepping into your life doesn't suddenly make you royalty, okay? Like, come on! Even though the red flags are smacking us upside the head left and right, we still wish Fantasia, Kendall, and the fam nothing but the best. But bestie, let's be real, you messy as hell. So what do y'all think about Fantasia and Kendall's love story? Is it a fairy tale come true or a disaster waiting to happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more piping hot tea. Until next time, this is Hot Gossip signing off. Bye!